All praises are due to Allah, who says on the Holy Quran in Surah Al-Tawbah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it is not for the mushrikeen to maintain the masjids of Allah while witnessing against themselves with disbelief. As for such, their works are useless, and in the fire they will dwell. The masjids of Allah shall be maintained only by those who believe in Allah and the last day, and establish the prayer and pay the zakat and fear none except Allah. Only for such people is it possible that they can be from the rightly guided. Sadaqallah al-Azim. 86 years ago, due to our own mistakes, because we removed the protector of mankind, the Khalifa, and wrong ones came to rule. 86 years ago, when the Khilafat was removed from this earth, and because of that removal, the world turned upside down, and part of that was the Hagia Sophia, the Ibadatgah. It was closed. It was not closed, and it was not done democratically either. It was done in secret, and it was done with the authority of the one that had no authority. Nobody could call azan. Nobody could make ibadat inside, and with that change, the curse of Allah came to the entire ummah. Establishing the houses of Allah, maintaining the houses of Allah, purifying the houses of Allah. It is the way of the prophets. It is the way of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. It is the way of Peygamber Effendi Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salatu wassalam. More than 800 years after the Fatih of Mecca, one of the grandsons of the Holy Prophet ﷺ was honored with another Fatih, with holding the title of Fatih. That grandson of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, that Sultan, that saint, Sultan Mehmed Fatih Khan, is the one who was praised in the hadith of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Verily, you will conquer Constantinople. What a wonderful Amir will that Amir be. What a wonderful army will that army be. And the words of the Prophet speak the truth. And Sultan Mehmed Fatih Khan, he followed the tradition of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. When he entered Istanbul, when he entered the city, he did not go to where the palace is. He did not go to where the treasury is. He went straight to the Hagia Sophia. Why was that? Because it was established as a house of Allah, dating all the way back from the time of Sulaiman alayhi salam. He was returning it to its original state. The Ottoman awliya, they are saying that when the Byzantine emperor was building Hagia Sophia, that the foundation, it wasn't working. And in his dream, he saw Khizr alayhi salam, who gave him the plans and said, look, this is the building plan for Hagia Sophia, which were drawn long ago on the tablet of destiny. So even the name Hagia Sophia came from the paradises. The meaning came from the paradises. The Ottoman awliya said that Hagia Sophia itself, the meaning of it is Ibadatgah, the place of worship Evliya Çelebi Hazretleri is saying that on the night of the Mevlid-i Nabi, the dome of Ayasofya fell down. And Hizr alayhi salam came to the king of that time and told them to go to Arabia, find that last messenger, find the promise of Isa alayhi salam, find the promise of Musa alayhi salam, find the promise of Sulaiman alayhi salam, find the promise of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and ask him for help. Years later, they went, the royal delegation from the Byzantine king, to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who mixed his blessed saliva with the water of Zamzam. They returned with 70 camels loaded with Zamzam and the soil of Mecca and returned to Istanbul. They used it for the mortar of the Ayasofya, which kept the dome in place. So when Fatih Sultan entered Istanbul, and when he entered Ayasofya, he was entering the house of Allah. He was entering a place that had been built on the order of the heavens. He was entering a place that had been inspired through the order of Hazrat Hizr alayhi salam. He was entering a place that was held together and held up by the blessings of the Holy Prophet alayhi salam. He was entering a place that was his holy inheritance, just as the Kaaba Sharif was the holy inheritance of the Holy Prophet alayhi salam. So Fatih Sultan entered Ayasofya, and like his predecessor before, Hazrat Ayyub Ansari, who entered the Ayasofya, he prayed 2 rakats, and he looked at the people and said to them, "Stand up. I am Sultan Mehmet, and I'm telling you, your brothers and all the people here, that your lives and freedoms are protected." And what did Fatih Sultan do once he purified that house of Allah? What did Fatih Sultan do? Once he bought with his own money the Ayasofya that had been in a state of abandon and dereliction for a very long time by the Christians themselves. What did Fatih Sultan do once he purified that house of Allah? He wrote a wasiyat that is preserved until today. He wrote his will that has been legal and effective since that day until today. He purchased the Ayasofya from his own wealth. It was the personal property of Sultan Mehmet Fatih Khan. And according to the laws of Shariat, according to every law of every civilization, he dedicated that Ayasofya to be a house of Allah, to be an ibadat gah, a house of worship until Judgment Day. He wrote a contract on the skin of a gazelle, a contract that is preserved until today, a contract that included not only Ayasofya but hundreds of other buildings. And he wrote, whoever changes this waqf, which establishes Ayasofya as a masjid, whoever changes it from a masjid, I'm stating in your presence that he would be earning the greatest sin. All the things I've explained have been written in this waqf. The conditions may not be changed. The laws may not be amended. The waqf may not be changed from its intention. Changes of any kind are haram. According to what Allah has made haram, may the curse of Allah, the angels and all human beings be upon anyone who changes even one of the conditions of this waqf. These are the words of our Sultan, our genius Sultan, our saint, Fatih Sultan. He wrote dedicating Ayasofya as a house of Allah from that day until Judgment Day. Our Shaykh, Sahib al-Saif, Sheikh Abdul Karim al-Kibrisi Rabbani, you're saying,
Ulu Hakan'ın Ayasofya camisini camilikten çıkaracak olana ne lanetler okumuş ki Evliyaullah'tandır, Evliyaullah'ın sözü de yere düşmez.
Sultan el-Evliya, Şeyh Maulana Muhammed Nazim Adil Hakkani Kadallahu Sir is saying,
kapananlar hayır etmedi. Hala da kapalıdır. Etmeyecektir. Yıkılacaktırlar. İlk vazifeleri Ayasofya'yı camiye döndürmektir. Döndürmedikleri müddetçe ağızlarıyla uç tutsalar bunlar hayır etmez. Zevri İmam-ı Ali, yüksek himmet sahipleri. İnsanın kadri kıymeti uluvul himmetiyledir. Miskin olamaz. Mümin ejderha gibi olacaktır. Engelli olacaktır. Maşallah.
The opening of Hagia Sophia is the fulfillment of the words of our Shaykh and our Grand Shaykh and the du'as of millions of righteous ones. This is not a small event. It is one of the great events. It is an event that is leading to the age of Mahdi alayhi salam and Isa alayhi salam. This should be a time of celebration for the Muslims. This should be a time of shukr for the Muslims. This should be our Bayram. The sunnah of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam is continuing in the month of Zulhijjah. A house of Allah is being purified from cruelty and oppression. The opening of Hagia Sophia is a crack in the kingdom of Shaitan. It is more than a crack. And inshallah, through the power of that opening, the kingdom of Shaitan and Dajjal will fall soon. Ameen. May the Ottomans return. May the Ottomans return. May the Ottomans return. Ya Rabbi, please count us as those who are loving and honoring and respecting the Ottomans. Count us as those who are trying to live their lifestyle. Count us as those who are making the Hagia Sophia opening as a Bayram. Count us as those who want to be on the side of Haqq and who want to stand against Batil. Let us to always follow our Shaykh, who is an Ottoman, who is a Haqqani. Make us to be like his shadow and always be with him. Make us to be obedient to him and have submission to him and have muhabbat to him. Make us to be with him in this life and next life, for the sake of the last Jummah of this holy month, for the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, for the sake of Sultan al-Awliya, for the sake of Sahib al-Saif, for the sake of Sultan Mehmed Khan, for the sake of all Anbiya and Awliya. Please accept our du'as. Forgive us, Ya Rabbi. We are very weak ones, Ya Rabbi, but with you we are the strongest ones. Be with us, Ya Rabbi. We are trying to be with you. Make us to be with those ones who are with you, Ya Rabbi. Separate us from Batil, Ya Rabbi. Separate Batil from us, Ya Rabbi. Make us to be strong, Ya Rabbi. Forgive us, Ya Rabbi, for the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Ameen.